And for more on PM's visit to Uzbekistan, our correspondent Siddhant Sibal joins us from Tashkent. Siddhant, good morning to you. Give us an overview to begin with as far as the strategic importance of Prime Minister Modi's visit to that part of the country is concerned, especially the key agreements that are on the anvil. What all is expected from it?
Well, Sakal, good morning to you. It's an important day for Indo-Uzbek ties, and of course, Prime Minister Narendra Modi will land here in Tashkent at 2 p.m. local time. That's 2:30 p.m. Indian Standard Time. But a lot of agreements are expected. Emphasis on trade relations and cultural connect will be there. And of course, let me just give you the agenda, the itinerary. The Prime Minister, after landing here, will come to this hotel. He will be staying here in this hotel, Hotel International, and then after that, around 4 o'clock local time, he will leave for the presidential complex. That's the Cook Saroy, and there he will have a number of bilateral meets and meet with the President Islam Karimov. After that, he will of course meet other leaders there, and of course there will be a press statement and then a banquet hosted by the President in honor of the visiting Prime Minister of India, Prime Minister Narendra Modi. But before that, 2 days, if you just roam around Tashkent, I've been stationed in Tashkent for 2 days. All the streets have been lined up with flags of India and Uzbekistan, and of course with banners written in both Uzbeki and Hindi. In Hindi, it's written that Bharatiya Mitron ka Swagat hai Uzbekistan mein. And of course, on the second day, it will the emphasis will be on the cultural connect in the Hotel International. Behind me, Prime Minister will be meeting the Indian diaspora there, and Indologists and Hindi speaking people in Amir Temur Hall, and that will be one of the key highlights of the Prime Minister's visit here in Tashkent. And later on, he will visit a place here, Shastri Street. Well, there is a bust of the former Prime Minister Lal Bahadur Shastri here. Remember the Prime Minister, the former Prime Minister Lal Bahadur Shastri was in Tashkent in 1966 after the 1965 war for that big Tashkent agreement.
Right, Siddhant, you're telling us about the engagements of the Prime Minister today in Uzbekistan, and he's also talked of how important Uzbekistan is for India when we talk of the strategic partnership, or for that matter, he's also expressed his positivity and optimism when we talk of the economic ties between the two countries. Now, we'll talk of the particular takeaways which the Prime Minister could expect from this visit. There is expectation on the Indian side when we talk of the Tapi gas pipelines, fruitation. Added to that, there are also reports here in the Indian media wherein they talk of how India is expecting to enter the transit treaty or to be part of the transit treaty, wherein Turkmenistan gas would be flown into Iran and Oman. Through Uzbekistan. Now, the Prime Minister, Indian Prime Minister, there are reports here that the Indian Prime Minister could take up this issue with the Uzbek leadership. Now, how crucial is that, and what exactly, give us more on this issue exactly, and how crucial could this be for both the countries?
Well, finer details will be announced perhaps later in the evening. But of course, as you just said about the oil pipeline, the entire region, the Central Asian region, is very rich in mineral resources. Kazakhstan up north is one of the largest producer of uranium ore. Down south, Turkmenistan is one of the largest, has the largest natural gas reserves in the world. So pretty much the entire area is full of natural resources, and that is where India can capitalize on it. The mineral resources, that will be a win-win situation for both for India and the entire region, the Central Asian region. Because remember, India is one of the fastest growing economy in the world, and Central Asian region is a resourceful and it needs a market for its products. And of course, India can play important role. And of course, we have of course, you talked about the Tapi gas pipeline with Turkmenistan. That that is one of the will be a major highlight during Prime Minister Narendra Modi's visit in Central Asia. But there is another plan to connect north-south. There is a north-south corridor from Mumbai to Iran to Baku and up in Moscow. So connection between Mumbai and Moscow, and that of course will pass through the Central Asian region. Remember, Central Asian region has been playing an important role in history. Also, remember the Silk Route, important cities in Uzbekistan like Samarkand, Bukhara. These cities were a product of trade and investment. So we can see more cities arising in Central Asia with new trade routes opening up.
Okay, having said that, well, there are over 300 Indians there in Uzbekistan. We saw your report. The strong cultural linkages, or perhaps the strong cultural connect that we get to see, be it India's culture, the fascination for Indian movie stars, Indian film industry, all of that. So in terms of Prime Minister Modi's Indian diaspora connect, their outreach to the diaspora there in Uzbekistan, what is the palpable sentiment on the ground? You have interacted with the Indians there. What are their expectations from this visit of Prime Minister Narendra Modi to Uzbekistan?
Well, I have been stationed in Tashkent for almost 2 days now, and when I landed here and when I interacted with the locals, I didn't face any problem, primarily because most of the people here understand Hindi. They listen to Hindi music, they listen to Hindi songs, and if you go to most to the famous markets here, there is a famous market just nearby to this hotel. People were, in a sense, they recognize that these people are from India, or to say Hindustan se aaye hain aap. So there is a lot of cultural connect. So it's not only connect Central Asia, it's cultural connect also. And when Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be meeting the Indologists and there will be a community reception, we can see a kind of images of India here in Uzbekistan, and people are very well versed with Hindi, and they remember the famous song. Well, the biggest connect between India and Uzbekistan is Raj Kapoor, because people remember still. If you ask the best song they remember from the past is Mera Juta Hai Japani, and you can of course listen them singing it with ease. So that of course there is a cultural connect, and you don't feel alienated here. I mean, they know most of the things about India. They know about Lal Bahadur Shastri. There is a Shastri Street where Prime Minister will be going and paying tributes to the former Prime Minister Lal Bahadur Shastri.
Right.
So in a sense, the connect is going to get stronger with this visit of Prime Minister Narendra Modi.
All right. Thank you very much, correspondent Sadan Sibal, joining us from Tashkent and giving us an overview